Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Up to date, we've got a 3-site dropshipping and e-commerce package for sale in the sports, medical, and household items niche. Created in April 2012, this business makes $2,811 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this business is 40871. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Before we dive into the questions here, just to give a quick summary for everyone out there listening in, as I mentioned, it was built in April 2012, has a monthly revenue of $11,347, expenses sitting at $8,536 for that total net profit of $2,811. That is over a 12-month average, and with the sale of these businesses, it includes all 3 domains, the content and files, the customer list, email list, and obviously all the inventory. So with that said, Ben, can you tell us a little bit about your background building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first, 3 businesses that you were in, or is this just 3 of many businesses that you're in?
They are one of the first. So I started back probably in 2011, just trying to escape the classic 9 to 5 and learning online things. And I started dabbling in SEO, affiliate marketing, and things like that, and eventually just landed in e-commerce. I just found it more exciting and things like that. So these were the first e-commerce stores I really built, and yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So these are your first 3 successful businesses, like your first real stab at it where they were making you money?
Yes.
And how'd you come up with the idea for these 3? Obviously, they're in pretty varied niches. Did you do competitive research, or were these just niches that you were interested in to begin with?
Yeah, it was purely strategic. So because everything I learned when I first started online marketing was SEO based, so I had a background in that. So I was just looking for niches that pretty much there was a hole in the market. So as soon as I seen one, I just jumped straight into them.
Excellent. I have a background in SEO, so I have a similar mindset as well when it comes to
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. For someone looking at this business, let's say they have no idea what dropshipping is, and maybe they're still relatively new to online business in general, and they're looking at this business as kind of their first potential purchase. Could you just briefly describe how this business makes money, maybe in just a few sentences?
Well, dropshipping in general is just basically, I can't really say that it's 100% dropshipping because it's not. Most of it is inventory stocked. But basically, a customer will come online to purchase a product. They'll go through our checkout system. They'll make a purchase, and either our fulfillment company will automatically send it to the customer, or if it's a dropship order, we'll place that with our wholesaler and they'll send it direct to the customer.
Yeah, that sums up dropshipping pretty well. So you've had these businesses for a while. Obviously, you are building other businesses too, so they're not taking up a huge amount of your time from the sounds of it. So
Yep.
why selling the business? Why not keep them and grow it, or just keep earning that monthly income from them?
It's all to do with raising capital. Like I've got a lot of projects going on at the moment. I've got a lot of big things coming up in the next 12 months where I really need that income stream, like a big cash injection to give it a really good push. So like I don't really want to sell these sites because they are predominantly autopilot, but I do need that cash injection for some big projects that are coming up.
I hear you. So you're investing into other projects. That's good. That is a good time to sell them for sure. What was when you first started this business or these 3 businesses, what was the trajectory of it? Did you find you were getting customers in pretty quickly, or did it take a while for you?
It was pretty much immediately because I started off with some paid traffic and things to get going, basically just to keep motivation up because I know SEO can be quite slow. So I started
Right.
off with paid traffic, and within a week or two, sales were steadily coming in. And it's just grown from there.
Now, is there anything you learned from this business that you're going to apply to your future projects? Maybe like one thing that just worked really well for you?
Really, it's just optimization. So it's just going over and looking at things. And a lot of the success of this was just trial and error. So I'd do a few things and see if that would work. If it didn't, I'd get rid of it. If it did, I was just trying to optimize it. So a lot of everything I've done has been paid traffic. But because I have a background in SEO, I've always been focusing on that as well. I just knew that was the long-term play. So I knew that I wouldn't be making money from the SEO aspect of the business straight away. I knew that would be 6-12 months where I'd start getting some traffic. But there wasn't really a one general thing. It's just consistency and optimizing.
Now, on the flip side, is there anything that didn't work? Something that you're going to make, man, I really wish I hadn't done that?
I've wasted a fair bit of money on Facebook ads and things like that, but that's not really my skill set. Someone that has a bit of skills in social marketing, things like that, they might perform really well, but with my skill set and my knowledge, I'd put a bit of money into that and it didn't really go anywhere.
Ah, good old Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can
so
just chew up so much money in there if you don't know what you're doing.
sacrificing it to the altar of Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Speaking of traffic, then, are you doing any kind of social media ads right now? Did you hire someone to do Facebook ads for you, or is it getting organic traffic?
In the last 12 months, to be honest, there's nothing really coming from social. I couldn't master it. I got fed up of putting money into it, and yeah, like that's just another part of the business. If someone has any experience with that, that's just a whole nother level where they can increase the traffic to the sites.
So where's the traffic coming from right now for these businesses?
It's a healthy split. So one of the sites it's a 50-50 with organic and paid traffic, whether it be AdWords or shopping comparison sites or things like that. The other sites at the moment is just all organic. I've had AdWords going with them, but because I didn't have the time to really focus on these because I've got so many projects going, I noticed I was chewing a little bit more money than I wanted to just because the ads weren't optimized properly. But with a bit of time going in and optimizing those, I'd start the AdWords up straight away for those two sites as well.
Now, are you running these ads yourself, or do you have some kind of team that are running them for you and helping you manage it?
No, I'm doing it all myself.
Okay, cool. When it comes to earning type, do you find one of the dropshipping businesses tends to out-earn the other two quite significantly, or is it pretty even across the three?
One site is dramatically the big earner. I would say probably 70 to 80% of the money is coming from one site. The other two, obviously lower earners. I haven't even really touched those businesses in the last 12 months at all. So it's just this, like the money that's coming in from them is just 100% autopilot.
Is that, and by not touching them, does that mean you're also not running any ads for those two?
Yes.
And so all the ads are just running to the big earner right now.
Yes.
Awesome. Very interesting.
Those ads are optimized fairly well. They could be a lot better, but they're optimized quite with the other two sites. I haven't had the time to really optimize those ads correctly.
Right. And now, with the stability of the earnings, is there any seasonality, any large fluctuations throughout the year with these kind of products?
Not really. Of course, over Christmas, there's always a bit of a spike, but the rest of the year is fairly stable. I've had maybe one down month, and that was because I was traveling for a few months and didn't realize I was out of inventory.
Ah.
But there was probably 3 weeks, and I didn't realize. I was like, oh, wow. So I just, all of a sudden, I'm like, where's the money? It's not coming in. And then I realized half the site was out of inventory. So, yeah, I did have a down month, but, yeah, over the last couple of years, it's steady every month.
So does that
it always averages out to the same.
Are you sourcing your own products then, or how is that working with the dropshipping agreement where you're managing inventory?
I source some products. Most of it, like, there's distributors here in Australia that stock probably 80% of the stuff. So I'll have one supplier where I get most of the stuff, and then I've got maybe 2 or 3 other smaller suppliers where I'll get a little bit more from them.
Okay, cool.
Most of the inventory is just stocked in a 3PL warehouse and then I've got some of the expensive items which I can't afford to stock. I just have them being drop shipped.
And are you serving the Australian market, or which markets are you currently operating in?
Yeah, it's purely the Australian market.
Okay, cool. You said there's quite a bit of SEO that you've done to these sites, or at least from the sounds of it, where 50% of your traffic is coming from organic.
Yep.
When you were building these businesses, more active in them, were you adding content on a routinely basis? Like, did you have some goal of like, all right, 4 blog posts a month, or I'm going to write 2 guides a month, something like that?
Initially, when I first started the businesses, I was like that. It wasn't in blog posts, but just with product descriptions. Some of the products, the descriptions are very large, so some might be 500,000 words, sometimes even more. And because in some of the sites, there might be 50, 60 SKUs, so it's a lot of content. So I was finding I was ranking very well just from the amount of content on the site.
Nice. So you have 50 or 60 SKUs on one of the businesses, or is that all together?
That's on one of them. Another one is probably about 40 to 50. And then on the other site, there's only 3 SKUs.
Nice. Let's pretend you were going to hypothetically keep this business and grow it. What would be the least risky path you'd focus on to grow the business?
The least risky path would be, one thing I've wanted to do, but I haven't had the time to do it, is with the main site. I think the conversion rate could be a little bit higher. So I would work on that mainly through the site architecture. I feel like the customer needs to really be pushed into what they need rather than what they want, because they might not know what they want. It's just because the product is something they actually need. So by having a process where it kind of helps them get to the exact product, I think the conversion rate would rise quite dramatically.
Now, on the flip side here, let's say you threw caution to the wind and you went incredibly risky. You didn't care how much risk was involved. You just wanted to grow the business as quickly as possible. What is it that you do?
Just throw all the money into paid advertising, all the
Facebook
channels.
ads?
I wouldn't do that, but yeah, anyone with the skills that can do that, I think they could be quite successful. But yeah, that's kind of the road that I don't think I could jump into that without the knowledge.
I was trying to whisper you back to
No,
Zuckerberg.
I can't do it.
So speaking of risk, what do you think the biggest risk is to a business like this that a buyer should be aware of?
Um, Biggest risk. Obviously, I wouldn't say there's one big risk, but there's always just the standard things, more competitors jumping in, things like that. A lot of the products, I'm the only one to really be stocking them, and because some of them are branded, no one else can really get those products because I've got agreements with my distributor anyway, and I get them on special order. One of the other sites as well, they've cut off any new online sellers, so the competition that's out there, that's pretty much all there's going to be. But yeah, there's no, I can't think of one big thing that would really worry me. It's just, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when it comes to work required here, you're obviously not doing a lot of activity currently right now, but maybe you can describe what kind of your weekly maintenance of the business is, or maybe your monthly checklist that you have for these businesses just to maintain them right now.
Yeah, as I said, the last 12 months, there's been nothing really done on the growth of them. The day-to-day stuff is just checking the emails and responding to them. Some days there might be 2 or 3 emails, another day there might be 7 or 8, but it's always quite low. Other than that, it's just making sure everything's in stock. For the dropship orders, it's just forwarding them to the dropshipper to send. Realistically, I've been getting away with 15, 20 minutes a day for all three of them. The only time where I take a little bit more time is if I have to order a bit more inventory and I have to sort that out. That's one-off tasks that's based on how much I'm ordering at the time and how long that'll stay in stock for.
Now, are there any kind of skill sets you'd suggest for a buyer to have, especially if they're not familiar with the niche, to grow this kind of business?
It would be best if they had some knowledge of e-commerce. Everything, I don't mind helping anyone if they're willing to buy the business. I don't mind helping them and coaching them to get up to speed. But with how everything's set up at the moment, it's been running this way for the last 12 months with no real interaction from me. So, but for growth wise, obviously the more skills you have in this type of industry, the better.
Right, definitely. Would you be willing to sign a non-compete saying, hey, look, I'm not going to go and recreate these businesses after you buy it from me?
Yeah, definitely.
And how much support would you be willing to offer that buyer?
I don't really have a clear. I don't mind if someone's based in Australia and they're based on the East Coast. I'll even meet up with them in person. I'm confident in this business. If they want to stay in contact for the long term, whatever. But for initially, there's a couple of months of phone calls, emails, whatever's needed for them to feel confident with the running of the business, really.
And obviously, the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers, someone comes in and buys the business outright for full list price. But would you at all be open to a split or earn out scenario, say 80% up front and 20% after a certain period of training, something along those lines?
I haven't really thought about that, but I suppose I would be open to that if it was above the 70 or 80%, because I do need that cash injection for these other projects. But yeah, I'm open to all offers.
Excellent. Obviously, they are very case by case, unique and individual. So yeah, that's good to know. Before I ask you my final question here, my hot seat question, if you will, I just want to remind everyone out there about the quick summary of the business. It was built in April 2012, has a monthly revenue of $11,347. Expenses are sitting at $8,536 for that total net profit of $2,811. That is over a 12-month average. And with the sale of the businesses includes all three domains, the content and files, customer list, email list, as well as the inventory. So my final question for you, Ben, is what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
I think someone should purchase this business if they're looking for a business that basically runs itself. It is mostly autopilot, and anyone can really jump into this and start earning an income straight away. Anyone that has some knowledge, I think they can grow this business dramatically over the next 12 to 24 months. So it kind of covers all bases, whether if you just want a new income stream that's making you money without you really doing much, or if you want to actually grow and build a business, it covers that base as well.
Excellent. I think that's absolutely right. This does sound like a really good business for someone, maybe someone who has a portfolio of businesses, or maybe even someone who's brand new, since two of them are literally running on autopilot from the sounds of it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's definitely a good place to start off. For those out there, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want more information, the link will be below this video that will take you to our actual marketplace listing. Now, if you're watching this on our listing page and you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super easy. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So, Ben, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.